Hey guys, welcome to LG Overdrive. This is Season 4, Episode 1. I am the host, Kingsmen42, previously known as the Young Buck. With me today, I have a new member of LG Overdrive. We have UT75.
How's it going?
Also with us this week, we have our AHL blog, Zero Crash.
What's up, guys?
And last but not least, we have Toronto Marlies GM, LAZYKIDZinGA.
What's up?
Alright, before we begin, I just want to give a huge shout out to Notorious Fat. He's one of our strong members in the past of LG Overdrive. We wish you a speedy recovery. We hope to see you on the show soon to provide you some of your well-placed humor. We miss it, and we hope you come back soon. Now I'd like to introduce another new member of the Overdrive team. He's going to be doing a little more of our behind-the-scenes work for us, giving us some statistics and some rundowns of things. That's Mr. Cav himself, so we'd like to welcome Cav. He'll be doing the power rankings for the AHL each week and releasing them to us and then to the AHL. It's already been released today, and we got to look at it beforehand, so it's nice to see Cav doing that for us. And finally, returning but not on this week's live show, we have Ristolainen coming back with his typical 8th Risto segment, which we will be providing for you guys and discussing. Then last but not least, we have Dudley Do-Right doing his top 10. He's already got his thing pre-recorded as usual, and he will be providing that for us when he edits the show. Now, gentlemen, how's your season going? Zero?
Our season is doing great. Season 2, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm finally on a team. That isn't bad.
What team are you on?
I am on Manitoba.
Okay.
So it's ran by Lorenzo with RG Breezy doing nothing. No, it's run by Lorenzo and RG Breezy, and I finally have 3 forward lines that honestly could win any game, and it's amazing.
And they're backed by a solid goaltender, so that helps out too, I'm sure.
Yes, they're backed by 2 Andrews actually. It's Andrew and Andrew.
Oh.
I'm glad that I have not just a backup, but a solid 1-1 that we are. We're pretty much both of us could start if we wanted to.
Well, that's good to hear. Lazy, how's your season going, bud?
Going good. For 4, 2, and 3, I believe. Second, not bad.
But more specifically, how's your season going?
I don't want to speak of that. A solid 62 save percentage.
Looking like my stats last season, bud.
Yeah.
We'll break it down, don't worry.
Break it down. Alright. UT, what about you, buddy?
That's going. We're a solid 4, 3, and 2, so we gotta tweak some things, but it's always a lively season in the program. You're
in Val, aren't you?
I am. Formerly Milwaukee and the roster swap it.
Did you get your first shutout of the season last night?
I did. It's the Devils. So I think I'm Wanderers. And I read for that. So
perfect. And well, I would be in the AHL this season, but I got waived, so I'm in the CHL. CHL Overdrive over here.
There's always time to come back up. Week 1.
Oh, there's always time. Yeah, exactly. It's only week
Still
1.
have 9 weeks.
Yeah, a lot of teams are looking for defensemen. They only have 4 or 5 on the roster, so pick me up. Shout out CC. Shout out to all AHL managers. All right. So now we're finally going to move on to our segments. We're going to start off with AIDS with Risto because he's not here. He did provide it for us. This week's AIDS with Risto is the thread called Unlucky, posted by Tucson's Crosby87. So basically this is where Crosby goes and posts a screenshot of Zaka saying that his team is going to be, Tucson's going to be trash because Cadillac Eldo's running it, and after week 1, Tucson was first in the division, and San Diego, Zaka's team, is 5th. And basically is saying, in your face, we're better than you are. I know it's week 1. Zaka knows it's week 1. Anything could happen. Lang in the past knew it was week 1, said his team was stacked, went 8-1, then finished with 17 wins in the entire season. What are your thoughts on that, guys? I know, Zero, you're a bog. You've probably had to check it out a couple times.
You know, it's a lot of it is it starts at good fun and people just chirping, but there comes time where it gets out of hand, and last night it got out of hand. Anybody was up late last night and happened to peruse the AHL chat box last night, it got out of hand. You know,
most action I've seen there in a while.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen it like that. It was, I don't know what was going on. I don't know what was in the water last night, but people thought that they could just say what they wanted. And
Now I know I wasn't there live when it was happening in the chat box. I did see several dozen screenshots of the chat. I could say that it was very interesting to read this morning. And I know you handled that very swiftly, and I know you continued to handle that from what happened last night. This morning, dreams, hashtag free dreams. But coming from a player standpoint or a GM standpoint, what do you guys think of this thread, UT and Lazy?
You're talking about in the chat box?
Well, just the thread and the chat box in general, this whole thing. It's all
you know, one thing I think it's you know, virtual hockey. They gotta become adults. You know, just let it show on the ice. Put their best six versus their best six, and let it go that way. You know, it's just gonna get people banned. That's all that's gonna happen. That's the way I look at it. You know, doesn't make any sense to get banned over a few. Just Zaka's best versus Cadillac Elbo's best. Leave it on the ice.
But Zaka is the best on his team. Then he got pumped 6-1 versus not the best.
It's true, and Zaka's problem is Zaka likes to talk about Zaka, and Zaka will always talk about Zaka. I'm friends with Zaka, I'm friends with Eldo, but Zaka likes to talk. And Eldo has to defend himself eventually, after he takes enough of it, you know?
I think the thing with Eldo is he goes in looking for a fight, and then whines and complains when he gets, like, triple teamed on, because, like, nobody likes him because he's going in looking for the fight.
Right. He kind of pokes the bear a little bit. In some ways. And Zach is the wrong bear that you want to poke when it comes to triple.
Because when you poke on Zaka, you got Naki and Buck coming to the defense real quick.
You got everybody. It was like a swarm of bees after just everywhere. It was rough. Yeah.
Now, Lazy, you've been fairly quiet.
Oh, I personally wasn't there at all, and didn't really read it, because I couldn't find it anywhere. But, yeah, like, adding on what UT said, just put the best when they play each other, just show it on the ice.
Just quick and to the point, right?
Yeah. I don't really read it all.
Just settle it on the ice. Alright.
So now, just hand the hammer down and everything will be fine.
So now we're going to move on to our top 10 list for the week. This is provided by Dudley.
Just have them ship it into the bay, and we'll take care of it, okay? Leave me alone! I'm not doing anything illegal with narcotics or anything like that, I'm sorry. Hi everybody, it's me, Dudley Do-Right 5. Unfortunately, I can't make it to the live taping today because apparently either I have a medical problem or... Anyways. Before I begin my top 10 list, as noted earlier in the show, I just want to give a shout out to my friend and former AGM Notorious Fat, Darren, one of the most likable guys on LG you can possibly find, one of the nicest, sweetest, hardworking people off the ice, on the ice, in real life, and on video games, and I just want to say speedy recovery. I hope that you do well, and we really hope to see you again. Because apparently I can't be the only funny one, and I think they're going to kill me. Protect me, Mr. Big Man, please. Okay. Anyways, so here we go. Tonight's top 10 list is top 10 things that could happen in this season's AHL. So pretty much things that could potentially happen, or things that have occurred or could occur in this upcoming AHL season. Here we go. Number 10. Kakatino has a troll mental breakdown, goes into safe mode, never see him again. Number 9. Faces still finds way to lose even with Brody and Game Changers on his side. Don't ban me, please. Number 8. Bakersfield loses 0 games for the rest of the season. and then I wake up from my dream. Number 7, Charlotte and Utica fight to the death, but nobody cares. Number 6, even after a couple of weeks, Buck is still probably looking up from the sea, crying. Sorry, buddy. Number 5, Risto becomes a bog, Risto bans himself, does us all a favor. Number 4, for some reason, Zaka makes sense when he speaks, when Charlotte says something. You see what I said there? Number 3, League Gaming's new slogan, Tabarnak. Just preface, that is not an official League Gaming post, don't ban me. Number 2, unfortunately this joke has been banned by Titus. And the number one thing that could happen in this upcoming AHL season, scientists have discovered a new form of cancer, the Tucson Roadrunners. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that's my segment. Back to you guys in the studio. I will go back to not doing whatever I was doing that could not be construed as illegal.
Okay, and now we're going to move on to my new segment for this season. I have a new segment. Me being a defenseman this season, I'm going to do a segment regarding defense. This is called From the Point. What I'll be doing is giving a shout out to the defensemen that are currently leading the league after each week in specific categories. These categories consist of most points, so the point machine, the most goals, so our top sniper, Mr. Apple for the most assist, and Mr. 5-on-5, which is best plus minus. Our biggest sinner, who likes to sit in the sin bin, is our most penalty minutes for the week. Our hammer man, which is the most hits, and then finally our takeaway machine, the guy with the most takeaways. I'll do a brief rundown on who they played this week and the stats, and that are incorporated with their specific weekly award. For week 1, our defenseman with the most points, so our point machine for this week, is Nikolai X Zombie from Ontario, who finished with 8 points as a defenseman. He had 1 point in a 5-1 loss to Bakersfield, 3 points in an 8-3 beating of Iowa, and then 4 points in an 8-0 win against Texas. Our top sniper goes to Mayor Topcat of Grand Rapids. Mayor hit 3 goals, making the switch to defense. Mayor has been known to play forward with Reggie Hauser and Stamkos for the last few seasons in San Antonio. Switched to defense. Managed to pop 3 goals this week. It was all in one game. He got a hat-trick in a game against Stockton. He had 4 points, 3 goals and an assist, and he had 6 points on the week. And his other games, he obviously finished with 0 goals in a loss to Milwaukee and a win against Chicago. Mr. Apple for the week, which would be the most assists, is going again to Nikolai Zombie. He had 7 assists, notably in his game against Texas. He put up 4 assists in all 4 of his points. Our Mr. 5-on-5 for best plus minus would be Bear Zombie XLD and Canada, the defensive pair from WBS. They both finished +9. This Baby Pen's defensive pair put up +9 after going 3-0. They beat Utica and had a +1. They beat Hershey. They had a +2, and they smacked Springfield, and they both got +6. So very similar stats, but the pair helps out when you're playing this as a defensive pair, not taking any penalty minutes. Speaking of penalty minutes, you have our biggest center for most penalty minutes. Another Ontario player. His name is Bradley. Put up 10 penalty minutes this week. It's quite a bit. 5 penalties. Bradley seemed to be in the box a lot for Ontario as he sat 10 minutes though. Season high started rough for him, taking 4 penalty minutes against Grand Rapids and then 6 penalty minutes against Tucson, which evidently was the winning game, the reason why Tucson won that game. They went 2 for 4 on the power play, and then he cleaned up his play and didn't get any penalty minutes against San Jose, so that kind of helped out at the end of the week. I believe he also won the game against San Jose, and San Jose had their top line playing, so helps out when your defenseman isn't taking penalties against the top line like San Jose has. Our hammer for the week, most hits, is Costa 53 from Hartford. He had a walloping 41 hits in 3 games. He led the league in hits with a huge amount, 41. Wow. Second place in hits was actually his own defensive partner, who only had 20. So he doubled that. He put up 14 hits against Binghamton, 14 hits against Toronto, and then 13 against Providence. So he's averaging 13.67 hits a game, and he still managed to go 2-1 this week. So Shout out to Costa, man. That's a lot of hits, man. If you keep that up, you'll have like something like 300 hits for the season, if not more. So keep it up. Takeaway Machine, our final award for this week would be most takeaways, and it's also to another Hartford defenseman, Not You, 197730, had 21 takeaways, so 7 takeaways a game. Led all AHL defensemen. He tied actually with another defenseman, but he had a better takeaway giveaway ratio. He actually had a +3 takeaway giveaway ratio, so he only had 18 giveaways and 21 takeaways. As the week went on, his ratio did get worse. He had 10 takeaways against Syracuse and like 2 giveaways, and then 6 takeaways against Bridgeport, followed by 5 against Springfield. But as I said, it got progressively worse in ratio-wise. But that's it from the point from week 1. What do you guys think of a defensive segment? Because no one's really ever done one.
It's about time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
Like, we've had defensemen on the show, but like there's never been segments for them.
Defense wins championships, even in LG, you know.
Yeah.
You got a good blue line, you got forwards that can score, you creates good things. So
They deserve recognition, right?
it is, yeah.
But speaking about another position that doesn't get a lot of recognition, we have goaltenders, and I believe UT, you have a segment on goaltenders.
I do.
All right, kick her out. Let's see what you got.
All right, well, I'm UT75035, and this is Keepers of the Crease. So we're going to start out with our top keepers of the week. So none other than the Milwaukee Admirals POTUS with a 3-2 record, a .909 in save percentage is super impressive for the beginning of the season because everybody's starting to get their jitters out when it comes to being in the crease. He had a whopping only 6 goals against with 60 saves and a 1.2 goals against average, posting a shutout against Chicago. So POTUS is holding down the crease back there, and they're playing good in front of them as well. That's a shout out to Sensei Drop Shot for putting together a good team when it came through bidding. So next we're going to move on to none other than everybody's drunk friend, Darcy Kemper. he's my second top keeper of the week. When he's not hammered, good guy. He posted a .90 save percentage for the week, 5 goals against, 47 saves, with a impressive .99 goals against average. So he played some good teams. Being the teams he played, it was impressive. We're going to move on to none other than Utica's Landemov. He went an impressive 5-0 on the week, posting a respectable .879 save percentage with 7 goals against and 51 saves, with a 1.30 goals against average, posting 2 shutouts. So shout out to Landemov for that. And then my last top keeper of the evening is going to be none other than Endosmoke from the Toronto Marlies.
Oh.
So I know we have someone in here that would like his save percentage, but we'll get to him later. So Endosmoke put an impressive 4-1-1 record with a .872 save percentage, 12 goals against, and 82 saves. So he is seeing the shots there on Toronto with a 1.97 goals against average. So he's playing well in the crease. I mean,
Yeah.
Zinga, what do you think? What do you think about Endosmoke?
Lazy.
What do you think about Endosmoke?
Oh, Endosmoke? Yeah, I played against him. He's a really solid goalie.
Isn't he on your team?
He's on your team.
No.
I'm pretty sure. Okay.
No. He's
So
on Baker's
moving
team.
on.
Oh,
Okay.
on Bakersfield.
Can I add something for Darcy?
Yeah, I
Go
have
ahead.
something for
I have
Darcy.
So Darcy went a nice 4-1 on the week, but I just want to let you know his only loss came from yours truly and a 1 goal. Just want to let you guys know that.
I also have something for Darcy. I have a special shout out from Darcy to his GM Luke. I just have a clip to play, so just give me a second. It's going to be a voice clip.
My name is Luke, and I got to run a jumping and I don't know.
is Darcy Kemper's shutout of the week.
Oh, Darcy.
Oh my god.
Anyways, continue your team.
All right, so now we're going to go to everybody's favorite part. The second part of it, it's this week's It's Never Too Late to Retire award. So there's been a little bit of a fallout on some goalies this week. So we're gonna get through them. Leading the pack that takes the cake in this award is Lehigh Valley's Trump 45, posting a 0-2-1 record with a whopping .480 save percentage. 13 goals against with 12 saves in a 4.32 goals against average. So I don't know if it was a bad week. I don't know if maybe he should, get some practice down in the sea. Maybe just kind of see where he goes. Thoughts on him?
He was waived, so they did waive him. They brought up their backup keeper Ricky. So I think there's a reason for that.
That would make sense. Next, we're going to go to the American Slippery and Net. He posted a 2-2-0 average, or 2-2-0 record with a .661 save percentage, 19 goals against, 37 saves, and a 4.76 goals against average. We're going to go next to Utica. Always like to bust on Utica because it's just everybody left the bust on Mackey. So it's just that, when it says boys, it is what it is. Utica's Tatar 21. Although he had a 3-1 record, he only posted a .689 save percentage, 14 goals against, 31 saves with a 3.5 goals against average. I played with Tatar a bunch. I would expect better. Thoughts on Tatar? You think it's just a bad week?
Well,
probably just a bad week.
Yeah, I mean, he was their one loss, so.
Carried, that's for sure.
Next, we're going to go to the Syracuse Crunch. I'll go ahead and talk more about them in general. So I don't know if what's going on with these two goalies, but both of them, Jay Fluken and X Brown, XX31, they're both staying around. So Jay Fluken's got a .644 save percentage with X Brown and a .679. Both of them are staying around 3 to 4 goals against average. Is this a goalie problem? Is this a D problem? Thoughts on that?
It's definitely a D problem. I've played with Fluken. He's a good goalie. So for him to have that low of a save percentage means that he ain't getting help in front of him. That's for sure.
I agree. I come from a very very non-existent D corps from the season 28 Milwaukee. So I definitely know what it's like to not play with D.
Yeah, I played with Brown before.
I know what it's like to play with a team that has phenomenal D and still play like shit. Shout out to Bakersfield season 28, first 3 weeks of defense. We had the best D core on paper, and I played like crap and had a 5.2 goals against average.
Hey, but now you're protecting the goalie, so we'll see what happens.
No, he's doing nothing.
All right, next we're going to move on to none other than LAZYKIDZinGA. I said that right. Sorry, man. I told you it was coming. This is none other than your Marlies GM. He posted a 1-1-2 record with a .622 save percentage, 17 goals against and 28 saves, with a 4.07 goals against average. So the only thing I could say is there's always up. You can only go up.
Yeah.
So now we're going to move to the Texas Stars Klepotron. He went 0-3 for the week, a .646 save percentage, 17 goals against, 31 saves, with this is probably one of the highest I've seen, even higher than Trump 45, 5.67 goals against average. So he did have a rough schedule. He did play a lot of the biggies from the West. So, we'll see when he goes to this week, because it looks like teams are playing. East is playing West, West is playing East a lot this next week. So we'll see when it comes from that. Last one is Ace Killer X-rated. He went, which is the trend this week. You have guys that are going 3-0 like Ace Killer X-rated, but has a .633 save percentage. So 11 goals against and only 19 saves with a 3.2 goals against average. So, like I said, you never know. And one Guardian that I missed is for the Bellwood Senators. It's Bell420. He went 2-1 with a .891 save percentage. So he's our third keeper of the week. 6 goals against with 49 saves, and a 1.80 goals against average. Like I said, trend of the week is you have a bunch of teams that are doing really well. They have one keeper that's that's high up, like POTUS for Admirals, that has a .909, and then you have Filmsy Almond with Filmsy Almond 31 with a .773. So respectable, but it just kind of seems like the trend for now.
So basically what you're trying to say is that there's teams that have one really, really good goalie on a really stacked team who's putting up the stats, and there's the shitter goalie who's really, really bad just getting carried by the team.
There's some, and then there's some teams that are super even. So on my team, Laval, you have myself with like that. I think I'm at a, let's see what I'm at. I'm at a .833 save percentage, which is respectable in this league, even after a week. And then the one who's my backup, he's 2-0-1, I'm 2-3-1. But my backup's posting a .857 save percentage with 6 goals against and 31 saves, 1.77. So you have teams that are like that have 2 solid goaltenders, but teams aren't scoring. That's the problem with the ball. Teams aren't scoring. We have solid defense. We just need the forwards to pick it up. Goaltending's been good. Goaltending's been good for most teams. There's a few teams that either might need to make a trade, or like we said with Hershey, they sent a guy down at one on the roster right now, so we're still trying to figure out what they're going to do when it comes to that. You have the Eagles that waived Delphine, 1-3, .8038 save percentage, but then picked up off waivers Insolvable with a .652 save percentage. So you have things like that just don't make sense for Colorado. But besides that, goaltending is staying solid. The only thing I see is maybe the Crunch just needs to help their defense out. But besides that, that's your goalie stats for the week and keepers of the creek.
We have one more goalie shout out. This one is coming from Darcy Kemper. Shout out to the AHL favorite, AHL Vezina winner. Grandpa Puff 420 is not the best. It's time for you to retire, kid. You didn't even go even 500 this week. You went 2-3-1 with a shitty goals against average and under 80 save percentage. Get good.
.797 with a .266 save goals against. So he's staying right on that cusp of almost an 8. But like I said, he'll have to his deal will have to step up around him as well. So.
On a team like Stockton, if you're not putting up 85 save percentage or better, you need to get good.
I agree.
I'm the one who had the 5 goals against on a good score last.
I mean, it's true. I'm just bad though. That's a well-known fact.
That's true.
This is why I'm in the CHL on a CHL TC. But I did good 2 games, and I did go 1-0-1 this week, so.
Oh, very nice.
Yes.
Yeah, you got good teams that are, like I said, the Comets that have Landamov that have great save percentage, and then Tatar that needs to step it up. You have the Americans that have somewhat good, goalie cords. Angerfon with a .722, and Slippery and Net. He needs to step it up to .661. So you have guys that are just getting scored on more than usual, but probably need to step it up at the end of, when it comes to the beginning of next week, this Sunday. So.
All right. So now, before we go, we had one major change this season compared to last season. So last season, game times were shifted on the 45 of the hour, and now they're on the half hour again, like they used to be every other season, as far as I can remember. But there's a new difference in ruling concerning forfeits now, where it used to be you got 5 minutes, and then if you asked for time, you had till 15 after or whatever before someone would call a forfeit because of connection issues. But now it's moved down to 11 minutes after you can call the forfeit, so you only get a total of 10 minutes regardless now. What is your thoughts of that? I know, Zero, you're a bog, so I'll wait till the end for you, but for the as a GM, Lazy.
Oh, I actually like that. Honestly, to get the game started on time to get ready for your next game, because I had a a game earlier this week that went to triple overtime, and we had to start our next game late. Actually, the first game started late, so we had to start the next game late too. So I kind of like that rule. Get the game started on time, basically trying to. So teams are ready.
Yeah, but for that specific circumstance, you have nothing. Like, there's nothing you can control about that. If it goes to triple OT in an LG game, like, you can't control that. The team's gonna have to.
I mean, like, it started late too, so.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Okay, UT, you're just another player like me, man.
Hey, you know, with me, I like when games start on time. It gets kind of, you know, tedious when all the games are starting late. So I think them making it to where it's that 10-minute mark, I like it because it keeps the games going. If guys need to get, you know, it also works out if guys are trying to, you know, their NHL teams need them, something like that. It keeps them. So it never fails that the Montreal Canadiens are calling me to come here play for them, and then because these games would start so late, even last year's season, the games would start so late that I wouldn't be able to make it. And it was either them forfeiting for Nashville or something like that. So I know it was a league-wide problem, which is why I think they changed it.
Yeah, I think that's a big one, was the whole ECU thing for the NHL. That's why we've been moved back to the half hour and so that ECUs could do that. I know that has no help for the CHL, because CHL is all that half hour as well, 8:30, 9:30, 10:30.
Right.
No, Wednesdays they play 10:30 games. I was thrown off by that too. They play 2-2-2, 2-2-2-3. So the CHL is a little different because they have 60 teams. They're able to do it like that. For me, I personally like that just because I am a person who starts work at 5 o'clock in the morning. So I'd rather not have my game start at 11 o'clock and rather have it at like 10:40 and be asleep by like quarter after 11.
That's why you gotta get a job where you make your own schedule. Like me. Yeah. People thought I was just homeless and was a hobo for a while because I was on the chat box a while, and I said, I'm working. I just happen to work my own hours, so it's nice.
But now from a bog standpoint, Zero, you probably got a little bit more detail on this because you had to deal with it throughout the off season. Why the change, and then what are your thoughts on it?
Well, the change from 45 to 30, exactly the way why you said it was for the fact that the ECU for the NHL for the AHL was pretty much impossible because you had AHL starting their games at 45, and then but the NHL was started on the top of the hours, so you would lose at least 6 ECUs right there and then that you could use for the NHL because of the fact that they were playing on the 45s. On terms of the change of the forfeit times, that's great because people were misusing the extra time by just using it just to say they have extra time when it was supposed to be for connection issues. So by dropping it from 10 extra minutes to 5 extra minutes, it's a more realistical time for having connection issues than to say, oh, I had to walk my dog, I'm late, please go ask for the extra 10. I don't think it's gonna be extra forfeits. I don't think we're gonna see extra forfeits. I just think it's going to make managers get their teams ready early instead of waiting until 9:35 to start making the party for a 9:30 game.
See, I'm gonna go way back, but I know when I was in VHL in early LG days when the merge was, I never saw many issues with the whole game starting late. Like when we had the community on NHL 14 and we had the lobbies up, like almost every game started on time or within 3-4 minutes. Like there was no issues with it. But since we've got onto these new gen games, there seems to be more of an issue with lag outs and people not making it on time, and then all these banana leagues are starting up since the new gen and all that, and I think that's causing an issue. Anyone?
Yeah, it's that, and it's the fact that these people are playing. Let's say your game's at 9:30, and your GM's playing Fortnite at 9:29, and then it's like, oh, there's a game in a minute. Let's start gathering everybody. Yeah. If managers took the time at say 9:25, 9:20, sent out the party invite, and they're like, all right, guys, 10 minutes of the game, be in the lobby at a certain time. more games will start on time. It's the fact that people aren't getting ready until the actual game time instead of 5 to 10 minutes earlier.
Yeah.
Like last season, when games were starting too late after 9:45, and then the games were just run over, and like there's really no set time to call a forfeit last season. I don't remember of.
It's supposed to be 15 minutes after, but it was whenever at that point.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, I like the new change, so.
That's good. Does anybody have any final comments or shoutouts to end the show? Anyone? No?
I have one more for Darcy. GG.
Oh,
man.
When you can beat me, let me know.
I just want to do one final shout out to probably the entire league, but this is towards one player, but the entire league. When Mackie leads the entire AHL and in assists, and his team is in first, rip AHL. I'm sorry. Rest in peace.
Oh, man.
Faces is a goal scorer, and he currently has 14 points and 11 assists. He should not be backpacking Brody that hard for Brody to get tap-in goals. AHL playmakers, this is a shout out to you. Do your jobs. And without anything else, that's it for me. I think that's it for the boys. And we'll see you guys next week for episode 2 of AHL Overdrive. Peace out, guys.